Good evening, welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI tournament. After the smoke has cleared from the AIIDE tournament, we are back on our own and with our own deadline approaching in December. Let's take stock of what is happening. We have had a lot of good updates and, well, we also had a new bot, which is pretty cool. Always nice to see a new entrance in the pool of hopefuls for the 2018 title. We are starting off today the broadcast with a nice little game between Simplicity, who has been working hard and impressing us all with the drops, versus none other than Ice Labs. Ice Labs from the Ritsumeikan University from Japan. Still there, still pretty good. And, well, it's, as we say, anyone's game. I think both players can win this. And we see the first scouting Zergling getting killed by the bunker, so first blood drawn by Ice. Then the scouting SCV is quite foolhardy and gets killed. I wonder if it's for the Zerglings though, so I'm not quite sure about that. But the Zerglings, they retire and they are going to wait for some more friends. Now behind this, Ice is rather careful with two bunkers and then is building two comp sets for some extra vision. Nice little bit of depots and of course opening with a handful of marines, which is always good versus a Zerg, because with Zerg you never know what it's going to be, and today it looks like it's going to be a very defensive game, and from a quick opening like that you would rather take a third, because this is a lot of minerals. That's 4 drones, and so that's 200 minerals, and then you've also got the creep colonies. That's 300, with the upgrades 200, so 700 minerals with mining time. That's quite a bit of money, but here comes, or here is the mineral only, and here come the Zerglings. The Zerglings right out of range of the siege tanks, but with 2 bunkers and no real angle of approach here, I think it's wiser to just retreat, and quite a bit of Zerglings lay down their lives here. 4 tanks on the high ground, and still Ice is the only one consistently using that high ground advantage. CrazyEO places 1 tank there, which is good, but Ice is just a little bit better, and with 4 tanks, these Zerglings, they can't really do too much unless one of these buildings catches a full blast of friendly fire from all these tanks over here. Third base is up. Worker count for Simplicity not as high as that of Ice, but Ice of course only on 2 bases. So I think economy-wise Simplicity is in a good shape, is teching up to Lurkers, that's good. Small peek at the upgrades, because we can't really see that without the unit portrait. Lurker aspect is done, and melee 1, the Zergling upgrades and Hydra speed and Overlord speed is done. +1 weapons for Terran is done as well. So Ice is going to play this rather defensively, is going to play with a couple of Goliaths. Is there a Spire at all? Doesn't look like it, because, well, there isn't really. But perhaps Ice just saw, oh, that's a nice little grab by the Zerglings. Simplicity might just tear it down before the reinforcements arrive, and yep, there it goes. But the third base by Ice is up, and here a nice little Zerg force is coming in, but with the turret and the comp sets, this one is completely full. That, ooh, that Lurker caught a full blast splash from the tanks. I need to tone this down a little bit, because these tanks make a lot of noise if they're on sieging and sieging all the time. And the Zerglings, oh, I totally missed that. Okay, so here we see the Zerglings just running in straight into the minerals, going after, and there are some more Zerglings coming in from below as well. So Ice really can't afford to lose this base at this point, but has no alternative. Should lift it, doesn't do so, and is losing the refinery and may lose the comsat as well. Yeah, sort of. No, it will keep burning, but not really at an alarming rate. And Ice is now running out of building space. It's not really taking this mineral only, not trying to be too aggressive, and it just doesn't defend its expansion. This base has been retaken, but here comes the Zergling scouting force, while the main force of Zerg is being built up here in the main, and oh, here come the drops. That's pretty good. The Zerglings, they find the new base again. Should be cancelled, no, and it gets killed. That's pretty sloppy, and there is no defense here at all. And before all these units are back, look at them go. The vultures, they will arrive there quite promptly. The Zerglings, they will probably fall, but it might take some doing, losing a factory, losing a couple of buildings. Nice scan on top, and with the tanks arriving there, I don't really think that's worth it for Simplicity, but Simplicity is keeping Terran down to 2 bases. The main base still got half the money left in it. 3/4 of the contents of the natural are still there. Problem though is that the next drop is already on the way, and the Terran army just left the base, and Simplicity is trying to poke at the main choke as well. And now on 2 fronts, oh, that's only 2 lurkers. Ice is now hard pressed, and you can see the main army is sieging, half sieging, unsieging. And of course the lurkers can't do too much, but Ice is being pinned down in its main base, in its natural base. And meanwhile, this pair of lurkers with the Hydra have taken their toll on the production. 2 factories down, lots of depots down, lots of damage being done. And it looks like there was an attack on the main command center as well, but that appears just to have been saved. And Simplicity just continues to harass, is going to drop a lot more units, and the main army of Ice is just too caught up in navigating this ramp, so that's quite costly. And now the main command center is down. There are 3 lurkers over here, and of course all the tanks can't shut it down, but by now there are only 20 workers left for Ice, and Simplicity is really pulling all the stops. Got hive tech, got all this cool stuff going on, lots of upgrades, not too much technology really, but that can be helped. And again, the scouting Zerglings are really doing a number on Ice Lab. Ice Lab going for a counter drop. I do not know how successful that is going to be. We're quite successful, but then again, you really ought not to siege up in range of the Sunkens and the Hydras. So now here comes the main attacking force, and of course there are a lot of siege tanks up on the high ground, but still the assault on the main base is continuing. Simplicity is taking more and more bases. Ice trying to sneak out another worker. And will these overlords drop their deadly cargo here? No, they won't. They will go in for another base. And Ice appears to be, well, doing okay, but you've got to defend it. And the payload of these overlords is just not all there. This might not be the best position to drop, but then again, you can see all these units are being absorbed with only very minimal loss to Ice Labs' forces. So Ice Lab doing okay here, but this base is getting dropped, this base is getting overrun, the main is totally destroyed, and the natural isn't really mining at this point, so Ice out of gas. And Simplicity, with a large drop over here, large drops in Zerglings and Lurker and Hydra, doing okay. Another tank is going to go down, the science vessels are on top, but Simplicity is just all over it. And Ice just doesn't know where to defend. And of course you've got an army of 76, that's quite impressive. But Simplicity is just going to poke and kill. Ice hasn't got the money to restart this base, would have been safe. But here come the scouting Zerglings again. They are going, just visiting all these spots to make sure there isn't a Terran base. And once the site has been cleared, this drone will probably not take it, or will it take from your own, I don't know. Okay, so long story short, Ice's army is dwindling while Simplicity is rocking the boat. There is a huge army of lair units over here, Hydras, Zerglings and a couple of Lurkers. Upgrade wise doing quite okay, might have been a little bit more decisive. So yeah, that is how you do it. And here come the Zerglings for one more round. And of course Ice will win this battle. There aren't just too many tanks on the high ground, and these Hydras are too juicy and weak. But every unit that Ice loses, Ice cannot replace. The natural command center is going to go down. And again a drop of units in the this now the Zerglings are in among the tanks. They have to unsiege. And there isn't a comsat left, there isn't a science vessel left, so this Lurker can do quite a bit of damage. We've got 5 tanks and that's it. And this is a little bit of tower defense. Lots of friendly fire done to the depot. And some Zerglings got dropped on this well, isolated spot here. Now Simplicity is just moving stuff, and although the tanks will be able to kill quite a few of them, in the end it will be over. So that's the GG. Simplicity doing quite alright, and we'll be watching to see where it is going and how far it will actually go. Then we have an update of Fresh Meat. That's the Haupan integration of Zerg. So Haupan, based on Ironbot, is trying to learn Zerg. Let's see what this upgrade after last week's... well, last week wasn't quite as impressive as it could have been, at least not as impressive as either Haupan or Iron, and I still think that Iron is better than Haupan. And we've got the Egbert update. Oh dear. And that was the game because Asperth crashed. Sorry. Next game, it's Geo Bot versus Madniks Zerg. Madniks got a round of upgrades, and I thought, well, what better chance do we have to see what these upgrades entail to play a very good Zerg versus Zerg. Geo Bot is not the youngest bot anymore, but it is still quite capable of playing a good Zerg versus Zerg, going for a rather late... Hello, what's this? That's a lot of mining time lost. Madniks, though, has got quite a number of workers up on Geo Bot. Geo Bot is going for some Zerglings, and I think this is a lost play because Madniks has got the better economy, has got 2 Sunkens for defense, and if these Zerglings are not going to attack, you might as well have not built them. And Geo Bot is going to have to play really, really hard to try and stop this. Army-wise, it's up a little bit, but with 11 versus 7 workers, it really can't do too much. It's got a lot of gas, could build a quick transition into lair, and of course that's the same Madniks can do. Madniks build 4 Sunkens on the high ground. I don't know if that's the wisest, and you can see Geo Bot just investing all of his money in Zerglings, and the Zerglings not attacking. Now the natural's done, the Zerglings roam the map, and I think there's a small battle over here, both of them. Oh no, only Gia has got speed, so Geo Bot with the advantage in the Zergling count. If it will catch these 3 Zerglings, preferably for free, it's a huge... Wow, that's a lot of Sunken, so probably the main is impregnable, but the natural could be completely wrecked, and that's exactly where these Zerglings of Geo Bots are going. And Madniks can't do too much about it, but as soon as they see the Sunkens, the Zerglings, they run in and they try to kill, they can't kill even one. And that is a victory for Madniks. Geo Bot has been droning up though, and has also started the lair, which is good. And Madniks hasn't got an army, hasn't got any tech, and has got a forest of Sunkens. Oh, with a couple of spores just now as well. So that's okay. Question is though, if this is going to be a Spire, what will Madniks do about it? Because Madniks has only just started the lair, and that, as you can see, is not good. So with 2 Sunkens covering, well, sort of the ramp, at least the natural, I think Geo Bot is in an okay position. Madniks going to town half-heartedly on these power generators, while Scouting Zergling gets killed. And still the lair is prepping, while the Spire for Geo Bot is nearly done. So that's a huge advantage if it's going for a Muta play. It has got the money, lots of money in the bank. And although Madniks has got a bit of an army, there is only 1 Hydra, 2 Hydras, 2 Spores, and a lot of potential to kill a lot of workers. And here come the Mutas. There are 2 of them, and oh, that's quite a large army, and I don't know if these 2 Sunkens will be enough, especially if Madniks is going to build more units. Is there going to be a Spire? Yes, there is. And now the Mutas are overhead, and there is only 1 Hydra at the front, so that's not good. And the Mutas are really doing a number on the Zerglings. One Sunken is going to get killed. The Mutas are trying to micro down the Hydra. And you can see that the Muta micro is not as good as is the Muta micro of, for example, a Killabot. The Mutas are now going to do absolutely nothing. That's horrible. And there is so much potential to do so much damage at the enemy, but it's just not working at this point. And Geo Bot, oh here, there go the Mutas. The Muta Cloud is quite okay, +1 rep armor for Mutas is started as well. And Madniks is losing an Overlord. So now the Mutas are on the warpath, and this 1 Hydra, they just wants to run, but it can't really versus so many Mutas. How much Muta is... Oh god, this is too painful. There are two spores, and yes, of course you can attack them, but it's really not worth it at this point, I would say. And you can see how many Mutas are damaged and lost. Now the spire for Madniks is done, the third base for Madniks is done as well, and it's going to upgrade into a lair. That must be a small mistake because there already is a lair, and now it's really anyone's game, and Geobot is really rather slow. It hasn't got a third. Worker count is okay. Upgrades are there-ish. Here goes the drone for the third. Will it be? Oh, the third is here already. That's good. And Madniks is scouting everywhere. That's very good. Madniks now going for a muta fleet of its own. Has got quite a lot of forces, and this was an abortive attack on these two spores. That's something you shouldn't do. Should try and harass. Oh, here come the mutas for Geo. And where are they going? After the Hydras. That's good. The Hydras are getting cornered. And I don't think that Madniks should be fighting this. Nice hit and run. Oh, and now they get caught on the spores again. That's not good at all. Geobot losing such a lot. And of course, you are winning the air battles, but you're just losing way too much to the spores. And now the Hydras. The Hydras have things well under control. And this is all what remains of the poor little air units of Geobot. The Hydra army of Madniks is growing fast, and with some Zergling support, it will be able to do a full scale attack on the natural defenses of Geo in a short time. Third base for Madniks is up. Oh, and this is a very nice touch. Just one muta over this base, killing all the workers. Here come the mutas for Geobot, but the ground army of Geobot is being slaughtered by the ground army of Madniks. So mutas can only be at one spot at once, and where is the muta army? I can't see it. Oh, it's here. While the battle is raging, and of course being won by Madniks because all the mutas of Geos aren't there. Here come some Zerglings. They are doing okay, but still the muta army seems to have been forgotten over here. That's not good at all. And Geobot has got 4 bases versus the 3 of Madniks. So Madniks is doing really okay with all the mutas over here, while the muta army of Geo is just forgotten over there. That's quite quaint. And of course the Hydras and the mutas, they do pretty well against Zerglings. Large numbers of Hydras have been lost, but with a lurker full support, they can do quite well. And still the mutas are sitting over here doing damn all, while Geobot is trying to do everything with Zerglings. And as long as the mutant numbers keep growing for Madniks, this is so weird. There is such a lot of money for Geobot, but Geobot's only making Zerglings. Now that's the strangest choice ever. Now the Sunken is being attacked by the mutas. There is no... Oh, here come the mutas. Finally the mutas are coming back, but I fear now that the air forces of Madniks are too strong. But they are not as determined as the mutas of Geobot. Geobot has got a better micro, has got quite a nice muta cloud, and with some mutas for reinforcement is doing quite well actually to beat back the forces of Madniks, killing a lurker, ooh, eating a scourge, eating another one. Damaged mutas all around, but still pretty good. Don't fight over here, please. Yeah, that's better. And perhaps kill some workers as well, because the Hydras aren't as important anyway. You've got the economic advantage, and you should just keep pressing it. This is not really going to work, but now the muta force has been pacified, and oh, look at the muta cloud growing for... No, don't do that! It's so frustrating. So much muta health being lost by a stupid attack on this... well, there are still 2 spores technically. And the lurkers, they slaughtered the zone. So Madniks isn't as determined, its micro is not as good, but its decision making is a little bit better than that of Geobot. And Geobot just keeps picking fights which it can possibly win, and keeps fighting in range of these Sunkens, which is not good at all. So now the upgrades plus 2 air armor started. The worker count of Madniks is falling precipitously, and that might be its undoing, because this base is fully operational, this base too, and there is a small muta contingent being formed up over here, and the mutas have pacified the main base. The Zerglings are in the natural, and Madniks, it's so hard to see how you can lose a match like that, just winning almost every battle, but then just being careless with all the anti-air defenses, and in the end Geobot is powering through. Here comes some more mutas. Oh, and that's quite a lot of spores. That's not Oh, that is so sad, but the main base is gone, and it's 60 versus 10 workers. So that's quite well done. Production-wise, it looks like a hell of a lot of muters and only one lurker. And the muters just going to go straight into the spores, which is pretty weird, but they are now getting some Zergling support. And once the Zerglings have cleaned up these spores, the muters will have free reign. And then again, Madniks is nearly dead and gone anyway. So that's the GG. Madniks, good upgrade, but work needs to be done. So next up, it's Chimera-Bot, and I'll need to show you all the upgrades. Last updated, we've got a new bot. It's called Jumpy Doggo Bot, and then you've got the upgrade of the Madniks series. Killabot has posted an upgrade. Chimera-Bot is by Javier, and it's basically Triple CK Bot, Iron Bot, and McRave packed into one, and it will just pick one of those depending on which enemy it's playing. So Chimera-Bot as Protoss will beat McRave, and that saves me the hassle or the trouble or the bother, which isn't actually, but then I won't have to queue the game with McRave, which I wanted to show anyway. And now you can see that Madniks Zerg is going for a very aggressive marine play, and there is just no Protoss army at all. There is one Zealot and one Goon, and the Terran army just stopped short. That is pretty weird, and will give Protoss the time to make some more units. We've got 2 gateways, now with 2 Zealots and 1 Goon, if they fight really well, they might just do it. Production wise, yes, 2 more Goons are coming, and if the Goon numbers are getting bigger, but here come the Marines. The Zealots are tearing into them. They are doing quite well, but the Marines are stutter-stepping nicely. They are kiting the Zealots, and the Goons, they are fighting. Well, it's not exactly the cutest. The probes have to come off the line, but they just keep running around, and lots of probes are lost while the natural for Madniks is started. The Marines are petering out slowly because there are 2 more Goons coming in. The worker count for Chimera-Bot, or for McRave I should say, is suffering, but McRave Chimera-Bot holds. That was pretty tense, and now the problem is for Madniks that it has got an infrastructure for bio units, and there are Zealots and Goons coming, which is not good. But perhaps with Marines, and of course, Stim is not yet done. That's not good at all. McRave, although it hasn't got the micro that the Cutest has, it can micro quite well with Goons. You can see that here, and Madniks is having the gravest difficulty to get any kind of an army together. It has got no bunker, and now it's Madniks' turn to lose some workers. The Goons are there. There are 5 or 6. And more are coming, and it looks like that McRave is fully committed to this attack. This is going to be a citadel, so might follow up into some Templar tech. Meanwhile, work production is okay. 40 workers and 2 bases, pretty good. And now Madniks has got a bunker and is rallying behind that, building another bunker with the choke. That's pretty good, but auto repair it, and if the repair is too late, oh, the repair is too late actually, and now the repair is there, and perhaps if you repair really well and don't repair the workers, you need to repair the bunker. Yes, there you go. Is there range for the Marines? No, there is not. And Madniks is losing a large number of workers, and now the repair is too late again. And the Protoss forces are entering the base. McRave is not letting off, not one bit. And these are all Zealots, so no Dark Templars, but doesn't really need to at this point. All the workers are... No, not all the workers are pulled off mining, but with an infantry army, you can't really do too much about all these Goons. And once the Zealots starts roving the base, that's going to be even harder to deal with because they are so tough. And the Marines can't really fire because they are being kited. We've got High Templar on the field, Storm is done. But I greatly fear that by the time that Templar arrives, there will be nothing left to storm. Madniks is dead in the water, and I will call the GG. So we have got a lot of games with the winner of the Canadian tournament. That's not like the Scottish play, but it's well, it will be very interesting to see how it's going to be. And we have got Banana Brain playing SAIDA, and I want to take a good look at SAIDA to know exactly what it's doing because it's so very dominant. It won a IIIDE tournament with a win rate of about 95%, and that's just too dominant for words. And it's starting with a barracks and a depot, another depot and a factory, it's not very cautious. It's got 2 Marines chasing away. Oh, there you go. We've got 3 Zealots in already. And these Zealots, they will have free reign of the enemy base. They are going after the scouting SCV, yes, going to catch a bunker. And that will give SAIDA some time to make a vulture. And this vulture will have to micro really hard. So you can see some mining families being lost. Nice bunker in the mineral line. And if that gets up, at least the workers will be somewhat safe. And this vulture, its micro is so good. You can see it hasn't sustained even a single hit, and that is how SAIDA just barely holds with a handful of Marines in the bunker, in the mineral line, and then with 1 vulture doing a ton of damage due to exceptional micro. Banana Brain is going for a core. That's good, because as you can see here, this vulture is so very deadly. It saved the day versus the intruding Zealots, and now is going to kill a handful of stationary Zealots as well. This goon, these 2 goons, I think will have things well under control, but SAIDA is 1 step ahead already and has started the natural. Now Protoss has done so as well, but as a Protoss you generally need to be 1 base up compared to your Terran opponent, and well, the natural's really given, so that's not really the most important base to be ahead in, but you can't really be behind. Now these goons, they're going after the vulture. And nice tank on the high ground. That is not going to work. Nice kill by the siege tank, and SAIDA immediately building a bunker at the front. Will it have Marines for that? I wonder. Oh, and nice touch there. And these 2 Marines just came. Oh, the 4 Marines came out from the bunker in the natural, in the main base, in the mineral line, to come and sit in this bunker at the front. Tank. Nicely positioned, 1 on the high ground, floating building, and the barracks parked in front of the bunker just to absorb some more damage. And Banana Brain, what can it do? We are seeing here that it's got only 2 gateways, so not really going for a large army quickly. Of course, these 2 gateways will be pumping, and a rover bay with an observatory, and that's very tech heavy. Banana Brain is a little bit ahead in army supply, but as it cannot really attack this position over here, that's so... I think that this can just be ranged by Goon. But... oh, we've got a shuttle already, and a 3rd. So now Banana Brain is really picking up on the fact that SAIDA is sitting back in its base. SAIDA playing this so very safe. Nice mine over here. 2 tanks in the main base just to counter any drops. Might keep 1 or 2 Marines in there just for safety. And here comes the Protoss army, and this tank on the high ground is untouchable. But here comes the Zealot, and the Zealot's being killed. Oh, and a nice mine hit. You just need 1 more Zealot. That shuttle just killed itself. And meanwhile, oh, now the artillery arrives, and there is going to be a lot of blue soup over here. And nice touch. They just walked right out of the tank's firing range and just escaped that way. That was so cool. That is some excellent play by Banana Brain. And Banana Brain has got things well in control with 3 bases now protected by, or will be protected by, 2 cannons soon. Nice bit of observers over, 2 observers in exactly the same spot, but it has got nice tabs on what the enemy is doing. And taking another base with a gas as well, so that's going to be quite alright. Still a relatively low number of gateways, only 3, 1 robo bay. And we'll have Reaver capacity soon. Will it build some Reavers? I don't know. The observers are all over the place. That's very good. But SAIDA's army is getting bigger and bigger. It now is coming in for the push. The Marines are coming in to scout, and Banana Brain would be wise to try and slow that Terran thing down, because once the siege tanks start sieging on the high ground, that's going to be hellishly hard. Yeah, and with only 1 Zealot in there, I think that SAIDA has got things well under control. That was a nice mine hit, and exactly what Banana Brain needs, but Banana Brain hasn't got an army left anymore, so that's quite unfortunate for Banana Brain. And now more gateways are coming into play, but the production capacity of Banana Brain is lacking severely, and although it's got a nice infrastructure, it's got a good economy, the problem is that you've got a very well orchestrated push over here, and with a couple of goons, you just can't break that. The shuttle is suiciding. So SAIDA is really, with this one push, doing so well. The defense was immaculate, and now the tanks are in the natural choke. There is no production outside of the main Protoss base, and again a small force of tanks just going to visit all the bases. And Banana Brain trying to get by with a carrier, but it's only one. And there are Terran mech units in the main base, which is not good at all. And one carrier does not a summer make. And although it can do quite well, there are 3 or 4 Goliaths over here, and these tanks will have shut down the complete main base long before this one carrier has dealt enough damage to save the day. Where is the carrier anyway? Oh, it's here-ish. Or is that another one? I don't know. Doesn't really matter at this point because Seda is just too good, has taken half the map, and this is the GG. So Banana Brain inadequate to the good push, and of course the strong defense in the early game. So next game up, we've still got Seda, and at the other end of the map we've got the Cutest. The Cutest is the master of Goon Micro. Perhaps on this map it can do something. Ooh, look at that. Proxy 2 gate, not in the best position. Oh, sorry. Proxy 2 gate, and I'll need to show you this. The Marines are moving between the buildings. The SCVs are coming off the line. They pin down one Zealot. I think it will be killed, and the other one will be killed as well. The SCVs move out of range just before they die, and now the Marine numbers are growing. The factory is nearing completion, so I think that without significant follow-up, this Proxy 2 gate is not going to work at all, and the Cutest is really abandoning it, and I think that is a mistake. It was sort of won, and that is a nice trick. The Zealots are being... a lot of SCVs are dying. That's not good for Seda, but I think with the lots of damage being done, the Zealots aren't really committed, so the Cutest is very good with goons, but its Zealot micro is just not that good. And now the first Vulture is out, and the Vulture will soon shut down this Zealot thing. And then as a Protoss you are miles behind, because worker-wise you're even. The Terran has got a lot of tech and has got a number of Vultures up. The goons are hitting the scene, and there are no Marines here. That's god-awful, but there is no production here either, and 2 Vultures will quickly depopulate the entire base, and that's just not how it's done. Oh, 1 goon arrives over here, that's good. 2 goons just can't make up their mind, that's not good at all. And I think that the worker count for Protoss is so bad that it will be impossible to come back from a deficit like this. There is 1 tank, there is 1 bunker, and with narrow choke, I think that Seda is in an excellent position. Its worker count is down 2-1 compared to Terran. And with siege mode, I think the fun is pretty much out of this investment of the Terran base. Nice command center in the safety of the main. Will float out to the natural, and this SCV is just going to build a turret over here. While the tanks with... so very pretty with the high ground vision of this barracks. Now natural taken by Protoss, and that's really... The Cutest will have to hope to delay the natural of Seda for a little bit more, but its forces are just not as committed, and this is a very quaint place to build your entire production infrastructure. The third already started. The Cutest taking a huge gamble here. And now the natural is being taken by Terran, and immediately this barracks is landing to make a little bit of a choke. This SimCity is just so beautiful by Seda. With the tanks in behind, you need an ungodful amount of gateway units, and with only 3 gates and 20 workers, that's not really something that the Cutest can produce at this stage of the game. So shouldn't tramp in and out of the tank fire range too much. That is a beautiful SimCity. These floating buildings are just being sent individually to help augment the SimCity. Bunker in a good position, you can move out through here, through there, and then again you can always lift these 2 buildings. Tanks behind them, not in one line, but deeper and further away there are tanks as well, so if you move in, they don't all fire at once, they fire in stages and they do so much damage. Nice minefield, that's a very nice touch. Seda is in a very good position. The Cutest though is trying to expand not really knowing how to deal with these neutral minerals. That's a pity, because that might be more efficient. And the scouting vulture of Seda. Seda will be ready to take the map, and Cutest will have to do something about that. Cutest still only got 3 gateways, and now there are vultures of Sedas all over that, and the goons, their number is pretty small, and they can't really make up their minds that that's a really wicked place to build a Templar Archives. And the tanks, they will shut this down record speed. And this small army of the Cutests, it can't do much. There is one gateway over here, but that right now is the entire production capacity of the Cutest, and the Cutest has got a lot of income, but no army and no production. So that's, as they say, pretty much the game, because how do you stop this Terran push? And that is really, I think, what Seda is showing at this point. It has got such a good defense, and the push, of course, is good. Any Terran push with siege tanks is good, and the enemy just wasted too much stuff trying to get into the natural, into the main, and Seda's defense was just too damn good. A nice block of depots with some tech buildings interspersed. Production is okay, nothing blocked, nice defense over here at the choke. Oh, the floating buildings have been brought forward to provide some vision, and wow, a small floating tank force will find this here as well, and that is really the game, because there are only 17 workers, and that base has been found as well. So Seda in a dominating position, pacifying the main, taking more bases, and of course the production is always there. So Banana Rain and Cutest fail to take down Seda. The next challenger of today is Killabot, and Killabot has posted another update, and it's a relatively small map, so let's see if... oh dear, did that? I pulled out. Oh god, oh god. Okay. I kicked out my cable for my headphones, and I should route that better, but right now it's twisted around my feet, so good. Seda, starting with a depot, then a barracks, and it's producing a marine, another depot, and there we go. Marine in the mineral line, that's a good place. Glean that from TSMU, likes to keep a couple of ranged units in among the workers as well. So yeah, there we go. Very quick macro hatch in the natural for Killabot. Killabot is going to play tag here a little bit. That's going to take a while, and Seda immediately taking the natural command center position. Oh, and this is not good. This vulture could just run into the main. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's going to be quite dangerous. There is going to be another one, and Killabot is making a lair very quickly. There are going to be some... that's good, but we really would like to have a thingy, a sunken colony here. That's going to be there, and the scouting SCV is still there, and that's something you need to nip in the bud, because it's seeing everything, and Seda will know what's coming. It can see this neuter thing coming a mile away. Upgrade wise, it's building mines first. It has got the thingy, the armory, and is already building Goliaths. So that's not good at all for Killabot. Killabot too is going to build some Hydras, and I really don't know that Hydras are that good. And still the scouting SCV is seeing everything, and that is so detrimental to your chances in winning this game. The Newt is now coming in, going to kill the scouting SCV, and here comes, well, that's really what Killabot is all about. It's got the greatest mutant play in AI existence at this moment. We'll probably kill these two vultures because they haven't got speed yet, but Goliath range is done. There are 2 Goliaths and there is a bunker, so now Killabot will need to find where the holes in the armor of Seda are, and Seda has got 2 turrets over here covering nearly all the workers, got a bunker over there, got a couple of Goliaths, and the main base has got 2 turrets as well. So with all these workers available for repair, that's very hard to poke. And Killabot has only got this this base and now should just be doing damage whatever it can, but is trying to find an angle to kill some workers. Has found a Goliath, will kill a Goliath, will need to keep the Goliath numbers down, but then again, its Mutacloud is quite small and it's already rather damaged. Production tab wise, some mutas are coming, and Killabot has got a huge amount of money, and that's just not good. Should be pumping that straight into the economy, because this 2-base muta versus 2-base Terran, it's not going to work ever. The Terran will just outproduce you with Goliaths, and some turrets are there to help too, so you should just try and harass and try to find where the kinks in the armor are and try to hit there. Perhaps do a couple of runs on these workers. This is just not worth it at this point. The mutas are there, their number is sufficient. Should just try and kill the eBay or run around the base. This eBay could have been dead ages ago, and take a 3rd base behind that. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The Vulture is killing these Zerglings, and the mutas are not getting anything done. We've got a Mutacloud of 11, and it's not producing any results. The Goliath cloud is growing, and the mutas are coming in once more, but they just can't deal with all these Goliaths, and it's so painful to watch. Killabot ought to take map control, because if your mutas are not doing anything, at least they are providing map control. The Goliath just can't move out at this point yet. There will be more, of course, and look at the number of factories already. That's quite impressive. If you haven't got the Mutacloud to kill, you ought to take bases, and now SAIDA is taking bases and not Killabot, and that's just completely the wrong end of the stick. Killabot has got a good build order, but the mutas are not doing anything but taking damage. No single volley was fired during this run, and a lot of hit points were lost. And that's so hard to watch. Even a muta was killed, and you can see how many missiles the Mutacloud is catching. That's just not good at all. And SAIDA is getting stronger and stronger, and this muta play is okay, but it's not doing anything. Look at these volleys of missiles, it's just insane, and now they are moving into the main base and taking so much damage, it's unreal. And SAIDA is getting bolder and bolder because it knows that the Goliath count is too big for anything that Zerg has. Still, there is no 3rd. Nice run by over here. 1 Goliath, no 2 Goliaths, all to do away with these Zerglings. Killing the turrets, that's good. But then you need to kill with the mutas, and the mutas. The awareness of Killabot is just not good enough to know where it can hit. And now the tanks are at the natural choke. SAIDA has retaken the mineral only and is producing a hell of a lot of Goliaths. Not forgetting the tanks, because the tanks are going to do the damage and kill the Sunkens, which of course are there to defend against the Goliaths. The mutas are still not doing anything, and they could find an angle. If you attack from the top side, you can round up a large number of Goliaths. And the muta play of Killabot is nice, but it's just not there yet. Not good enough to kill, well, the number 1 bot in existence at this moment, so that's not nothing to be ashamed of. But as play, I think that the mutas are not pulling their weight. They are too hesitant, they cannot find where to hit, and they take way too much damage. So a couple of mutas here, a couple of mutas there, just not going to work. And SAIDA is building more and more Goliaths. The natural is falling, and with it, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, you can build a lot of hatcheries, but that's not going to work. So that is the GG, and we have the last enemy. It's CrazyEO, the last hope against SAIDA. And if we look at the ELO rating, it is SAIDA, and it's being pursued by CrazyEO, by Cutest, but Cutest is more than 100 points down, Banana Brain even more so, Darchin, the Cutest clone, a little bit, well, similar, but it's dropping down quite precipitously behind after CrazyEO already, and SAIDA is a good 48 points up on CrazyEO. That's insane. Cherry Pie's upgrade on AIIDE wasn't as good as we all hoped, and it almost looked like work on it has been abandoned. And well, CrazyEO, let's show us your game, because CrazyEO has been updating as well, And if there is any one coder who has been putting so much energy into updating his bot, it is CrazyEO. So if anyone can do it, it's going to be him. Cutest fell, Banana Brain fell, Killabot fell, and now it's up to CrazyEO to try and stop this monster of a machine called SAIDA from the Samsung AI team. CrazyEO is going for a floating barracks, and still this scouting SCV is in there, and I really feel players need to try and stop this more. SAIDA isn't having any of it. It's just building a couple of Marines just to get the scouting out of his base. CrazyEO, 1 base, 2 factories. SAIDA, 1 base, 1 factory, and a natural behind the bunker. So will CrazyEO be able to outproduce SAIDA in the early stages of the game, or is it going to be SAIDA who will again defend with that very good defense? And now with the natural up and running already, CrazyEO's got the worker lead, but I think that SAIDA has got the economic lead. And if I can show you, yes, there we go. SAIDA is getting bigger and better, if I interpreted that graph right, and putting the tanks at the front. Now CrazyEO is coming in with the high ground vision. Oh, and SAIDA's tank is just a little bit too far, and SAIDA is taking some hits. Where is the repair for CrazyEO? The repair for CrazyEO is not there. The SCVs are too lame, and the high ground vision is gone as well. This tank needs to be repaired now. These tanks are fucking about, and it's just not on. But CrazyEO is putting the pressure on SAIDA, and now finally the repair is there, and the SCVs are repairing the damaged tanks. The high ground vision for SAIDA is there as well. The barracks has just been brought back, and now it's anyone's game, be it that CrazyEO has got double the army supply of SAIDA, and CrazyEO needs to make this work now. There is no no natural expansion. There is no anti-air to bring down this barracks, and the tanks, they just need to push now. There are only 2 tanks for SAIDA, and this would be the ideal moment to just unsiege, move in, try and stop this, but the tanks for CrazyEO are just too hesitant, and behind this, of course, SAIDA will be upgrading its army in record speed. There is still no natural for CrazyEO, and CrazyEO's the push is there, but it's just not strong enough, it's not committed enough to try and stop that. Now with the repair, CrazyEO, 1 more blast! Oh, and the tank just got killed, so SAIDA got pretty lucky there, but then again, CrazyEO at this point doesn't merit any victory, because although the tank numbers are superior, it's just not pushing in, and SAIDA has got at least the equal amount of tanks with the supporting units now, so I think that CrazyEO has got a devil of a job cut out for it. It's got the army supply advantage, but it hasn't got the tactic to break this tank defense. And now SAIDA has got 1 more base. CrazyEO tried to harass it, but there is a tank there already. SAIDA's defense is so on point. And now some vultures are being caught by a single Goliath, and that Goliath just killed 2 vultures. You saw it right there. And SAIDA immediately defending the third. CrazyEO's got the lockdown, but the floating barracks is at the wrong side, and that is going to be so costly. SAIDA is moving out. CrazyEO's tanks are only 4, 3, 2, 1, and if I'm not very much mistaken, this has to be the game, because SAIDA has got a worker lead. It's got 3 bases versus the 2 of CrazyEO, and now CrazyEO will have to defend, but what can you do versus a bot which is playing as good as SAIDA? Well, you could have rolled it over with the tank push in the early game, but you need to have a little bit more balls, and of course it's very hard to estimate the exact number of tanks in the area which you are not seeing at this point. So CrazyEO trying with a contain on this part of the map, killing 1, 2 Goliaths, that's good, but still you need to be able to do something. If you've got the army advantage like this, you will need to be able to push through here, mine up this tank, make something happen, and of course ranging the workers is good. So this is going to be a money sink for SAIDA for the time being. Now SAIDA is attacking here as well, and there is no air cover for CrazyEO. So CrazyEO is going to lose here, and I think with 3 versus 2 bases and the fact that there is a huge tank army outside of CrazyEO's natural, CrazyEO will be in a hard spot. There are 2 vultures of SAIDA's over at the SCVs at Monroe only, doing so much damage before CrazyEO can send a tank. And CrazyEO is just too slow on the defense. These tanks on the high ground are doing tons of damage. SAIDA is trying to build here, so it's not only losing units, it's losing the minerals and Oh, and this is beautiful. That is a nice run by the tanks, the mine! Oh, and that is... I can't see how much health this tank has got left, but SAIDA has got a tactic to deal with static tanks. It will try to run up to them by sending in a couple of vultures, perhaps a couple of Goliaths, and still CrazyEO is doing tons of damage here with the tanks, and so many units have been killed, and the units are going after the eBay. That's not good at all. Still, the contain for SAIDA is running over here, and CrazyEO is just not defending this base. SAIDA is making sure that every base has got a small complement of at least 2 tanks and 1 Goliath, and now has broken the blockade of its 3rd. And again, the vultures are in among the mineral only, and 1 wraith is not, or even 2 wraiths are not going to help that. And the vultures, they find even more SCVs to kill completely without defense. And CrazyEO is going to pay a hefty price for that. The wraith count is growing though, so these incursions by vultures are going to be stopped. And now the only thing that CrazyEO needs to do is trying to hold off this push by SAIDA. And SAIDA, oh dear, these workers, they don't really dare and traverse this distance over here, and they are all... These 20 SCVs are doing nothing, and CrazyEO has got a small worker lead, but they are not mining, they're just mulling about here. That's not good. And that is, did you see that? I need to show you that, because that was so beautiful. So we were here, and CrazyEO's got 1 tank to, well, accidentally defend the 3rd, and it will now spot a couple of vultures. 2 more vultures come, they lay a mine at the feet of the tank, and they kill the worker, and then they kill the tank. So that is how you kill a lone siege tank. And there is just no worker to kill here, so these 5-6 vultures, they just try nabbing at the base, and CrazyEO trying to kill a tank with, oh well, actually kills the tank with 3 wraiths. But now SAIDA has got things well under control, lots of production, nice defense over here, and with the drop in the neck of CrazyEO, where is it? So this was the action with the tank. I've got to be really careful and keep my eye on the minimap. Here comes the drop. 3 dropships, and there are 2 turrets, which is good, but there is a sizable Terran push coming up here, and CrazyEO has got no detection over here to see the drop coming. 1 more turret is going to be built. I fear it's going to be out of range, and beside that, all the units are being dropped, and they have got command of this ramp. So this expeditionary force defending the natural and the main is just left on its own. The main is mined out. The 4th, this is going to be shot out of the air, and SAIDA has got things well in control. SAIDA has got some issues breaking a siege with more than 1 tank too. That's understandable, that's not easy, and it's very hard to decide what to do, but with a matrix and with superior numbers, SAIDA is just going to push, and now there are only 3 tanks left for CrazyEO, and of course the ramp is being sieged by SAIDA over here. So SAIDA taking 1 more basis, immediately defending it. That's so critical, and that's just where you've got to win your matches. And SAIDA is just taking a sweet time being victorious at the bridges. CrazyEO, of course, will hold with a couple of tanks, has got, well, a couple of tanks more on the high ground, has cleaned up this mess over here. That's good, tries to rebuild the natural, but then it will be, if the natural is operational, it will be 1 versus 2 bases. And that's mainly because SAIDA is not really committed to take another base at this point, has got a good income, and you can see it's 24 versus 109 army supply. SAIDA isn't even maxed on a very low worker count, and CrazyEO is defending quite well because in this sector there is no air vision for SAIDA. The air vision is up here, and it's up there where the threat for CrazyEO is coming from. It's now only 8 army supply, and that does include a wraith and a science vessel, so that's not going to work. SAIDA is unstoppable, is beating all the good players still, and that is why it's still the #1 this game. So thank you everyone who has coded one of these beautiful bots. Thank you all for watching. Hope to see you again next week. And for now I say good game and goodbye.